Welcome back to another edition of Recruiter Fuel. And this whole series has been about having real conversations with recruiters, sourcers, and researchers. Things that happen to you and I every single day. And we've got somebody back for the second time.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
Corey, thanks for coming back. So let's kind of lay this out. Let's talk about what's going on, because it's trending news, right? Mm-hmm. Facebook breach.
Yes, I know. For anybody that's unaware right now, Facebook's got massive problems with this whole Cambridge Analytica scraping of millions of users' data. The last I checked, the estimate was at 87 million.
Okay, all right, so let's, 3 weeks ago, you were on a previous Recruiter Fuel, and you were talking about using Facebook.
Absolutely.
To mine data,
yeah,
in essence, right? Searching by phone numbers. That's changed now because of the Cambridge thing.
That has changed. Unfortunately, one of the setbacks for Facebook now, under the spotlight and scrutiny here, if you will, with this data breach, one of the things they've gone back on is the ability to easily access their users via mobile phones in searching via emails. That feature has now been disabled permanently.
So if I had somebody's phone number and I wanted to know who they were, I can just put in their phone number and it'll validate this is the person that I'm really looking for.
As of a week ago, sure. Today, not so much.
So what's the trend here? What's going to happen? So that's a tool that recruiters and sourcers use all the time.
Absolutely. So as we've mentioned before, you and I, you have to stay ahead of this. In the world of technology, things change overnight, as we've seen. So the next steps are have a backup plan always would be a advice I would offer anybody, but we've got tools like White Pages and Zaba Search that we can confirm a phone number with.
And those are pretty popular.
Pretty popular, I'd say, in the recruiting world. Maybe not the validity of Facebook that will have a picture and a profile to match it.
Okay, now get your crystal ball out. This Facebook, everybody uses Facebook. Mm-hmm. Data breach there. You were talking just a little bit ago, last year, Equifax.
Absolutely.
All these organizations continue to say data breach, data breach, data breach. Recruiters live and die by LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. What could happen?
Crystal ball, I mean, how big is Facebook? One of the largest companies on the planet. LinkedIn certainly could be next on that. There's nothing stopping hackers from accessing anybody's data.
So if they shut that down for recruiters, what would happen?
I think everybody, besides pressing the panic button, the world might end overnight for some people, but I think this is where you really have to take stock and place importance on a company's security.
Chief Information
Security Officers.
Big business right now.
Big
Everybody's hiring
right
them or upgrading them and so forth.
Data security.
It's mind-boggling to me the impact that could happen. If this has happened to LinkedIn and we don't know about it, or it could happen to LinkedIn, what that could do to the recruiting industry overall. Those that rely 100% on it.
100% could melt it down overnight with as many people, as you mentioned, using LinkedIn as their sole means of recruiting.
Well, things change, as you say, on a constant basis. I think we need to keep having you on as things continue to change, because we talked about this before. Tools come in, and 3 weeks later, tools are out.
Of course.
Facebook was a great sourcing tool. Maybe not so much anymore, at least the way that you were using it, or we're using it. But you also mentioned that the CTO of Facebook said that they might shut down more things.
They might shut down more in the future, and certainly something we could share in the future. But right now, things are kind of in limbo there right now. They're all pressing the panic button now because they've got getting hit with results from millions of people that say their data was compromised.
Two learnings out of this. One, we've got to all be worried about the data that we put up. If I'm an organization, I better have some kind of security controls, but as we see with Facebook, it's not even flawless. And two, if we're in the recruiting space, like all these people that are watching this thing, careful, because if they shut down that API or they change the way they do things on LinkedIn because of a data breach, our jobs are going to change significantly.
Absolutely. Of course.
Well, Corey, I'm sure we'll have you back in a couple of weeks
anytime
things change. But this has been another edition of Recruiter Fuel. Check us out next time. We'll be back in a week.